54 severe weather reports slammed the Deep South in a single day. That number alone should stop you cold, and it is just the beginning of this story. Denver just recorded its biggest May snowstorm in over 2 decades, burying the Rockies under 3 feet. Right now, the upper Midwest is running 15 degrees below normal for early May. 15 degrees below normal in May, that is not a cold snap, that is a cold siege. Here is what really has forecasters losing sleep. Something building in the Pacific changes everything. At the 5-minute mark, I will show you a number that goes back all the way to 1877. That is further back than anyone alive today can remember. Models are dead serious about it. Stick around to the very end because I have got real good news for the drought-hammered Carolinas. Not me softening the blow, honest-to-goodness drought relief is finally coming. Drop your city in the comments, tell me where you are and what you need. If this forecast is useful, share it with someone in your area who needs to see it today. Most people have no idea just how unusual the first week of May has actually been. March and April had most of the country running 3 to 10 degrees above normal coast to coast. The atmosphere just flipped on us hard, and the last 7 days tell a completely different story. The northern plains and upper Midwest have been averaging 5 to 15 degrees below normal this week. We should be feeling close to summertime temperatures out there, and we are nowhere close to that. That Arctic air is being pumped straight down from Canada into the central and eastern states. Good Lord, we are barely 3 weeks from summer, and Arctic air is still winning out there. Now, before we talk this weekend, we have to acknowledge what just happened in the past 48 hours. Wednesday into Thursday delivered 14 tornado reports across Mississippi and Alabama in a single day. 3 of those tornadoes have already been confirmed on the ground by survey teams working the damage zone. On top of that, 16 damaging wind reports and 24 separate hail reports came in. 54 total severe weather reports, folks, and that number will keep climbing as surveys continue. Our thoughts are with every family dealing with recovery across Mississippi and Alabama. The same trough that drove those tornadoes is still very much in play as we speak. Now, speaking of jaw-dropping numbers, let us talk about what happened out in Denver this week. Denver International Airport recorded 5.8 inches of snowfall in May, no joke. The largest May snowstorm Denver has seen since 2003, more than 20 years ago. But the kicker is what happened up in the higher elevations just outside the metro area. Some spots near Denver picked up 2 to 3 full feet in May before Mother's Day. Nobody ordered that. And it is a perfect picture of just how wild this atmospheric pattern really is. That same deep trough stretching from Hudson Bay down through the Great Lakes drove all of it. And that trough is now beginning to shift eastward as we head through Mother's Day weekend. Let us break down what you need to know for Saturday, May 9th, and where the risks fall. Along the southeast coast, we are still tracking leftover shower and thunderstorm activity Saturday. The zone to watch runs from northern Florida all the way up through the Carolina coastline region. Jacksonville, Gainesville, Tallahassee, Savannah, all of you should keep a radar app close Saturday. Charleston, Myrtle Beach, and Wilmington, you are in this zone too, so heads up for the day. Storm coverage along the southeast coast is expected to drop off as daytime heating fades Saturday evening. For that region, the more active window is earlier in the day, not late evening. What is the storm energy looking like down there? Flat out serious. No two ways about it. Storm instability along the southeast coast is running 1,000 to 2,000 joules per kilogram. That is plenty of fuel for storms to tap into and produce isolated severe weather. Now for the central part of the country, scattered showers and thunderstorms are weaving through Saturday. Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio are looking at a wet Saturday morning through the afternoon. Not a severe event for those areas, but bring the umbrella. It will be a soggy one. Now here is something I want every gardener and homeowner in the northern tier to hear this. A legitimate frost and freeze risk is in play Friday night into Saturday morning across Minnesota. Wisconsin and Michigan, you are in this frost zone too low. Temperatures are borderline for real damage. If you have already put plants in the ground, cover them up tonight, plain and simple, folks. And northern Maine, heads up for your Saturday morning as well. Frost risk is real up there too. Sunday morning brings that frost and freeze risk right back, this time targeting the Dakotas and Minnesota. Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, keep an eye on Sunday morning conditions as well. The Gulf Coast has a flooding concern this weekend that needs your attention. From Corpus Christi and Houston all the way to New Orleans and Gulfport, excessive rain is possible. Gulfport, Mobile, Jackson, a marginal risk for excessive rainfall is in play through this weekend. Turn around, don't drown. If you see a flooded road, do not drive through it, no exceptions. 6 inches of moving water is dangerous and washed out pavement hides beneath the surface. Have multiple ways to receive flash flood alerts if you are in the Gulf Coast zone. The Gulf Coast flood risk is real and the timing lines up perfectly with the rain surge. I read every comment and come back with a specific breakdown for your area. Now here is where this forecast takes a very good turn for many of you. That deep trough punishing the eastern half of the country is breaking down. The ridge out west is starting to expand eastward into the plains and the Mississippi River Valley. What that means for temperatures is warmer air is on the way for the central and eastern states. By Monday, May 11th, a third rainfall event hits the East Coast in 5 days. For areas that have been locked in drought for over a month, this is welcome and long overdue. Tuesday, May 12th, brings another storm system rolling through the Midwest with some lingering cold air. By Wednesday, the 13th, more beneficial rain looks possible for the Mid-Atlantic and Ohio Valley corridor. The GFS model tracks 4 rainfall events on the East Coast in 1 week. Wow! 4 events in 1 week after months of drought for the Carolinas is huge, folks. Now here's the straight warning you need: that warm-up around May 17th and 18th does not stick. The models flip right back to cooler conditions very quickly after that brief warm-up in the east. Both major models agree on cold east, warm west holding through the rest of May. It is not going away anytime soon, and the bigger story building in the background is absolutely wild. This part of the forecast genuinely blew me away when I first pulled it up. While we are watching this cold grind through May, something massive is building out in the Pacific. Scientists are describing what they are seeing out there in terms most forecasters rarely use seriously. A powerful Kelvin wave swept through the equatorial Pacific and transformed sea surface temperatures. A weak El Niño is already officially in effect out in the equatorial Pacific right now. Here's the alarming part. I want you to sit up and pay close attention here. Probability models are now showing close to 100% odds that this escalates to super strength. Near 100% odds of a super El Niño arriving by winter 2026. And to find a comparable pattern in history, scientists have to go all the way back to 1877. 1877, so far back, it is beyond anyone alive today's lifetime, plain and simple. If this comes to fruition, we could be looking at one of the strongest El Niños ever recorded. Good grief, folks, the maps are that bullish, and both models are pointing in the same direction. What does this mean for the next few weeks? Short-term impacts are already here. The more active subtropical jet stream from El Niño is already pumping moisture from south of Hawaii. That flow is tracking across Mexico and right into the southern tier of the United States. That moisture feed is fueling those back-to-back rainfall events we are watching build for the east. Meanwhile, the western United States is getting the flip side, and it is not a gentle one. Ridging high pressure is building across California, Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico. And that is going to drive temperatures to extraordinary levels out in the desert southwest next week. Let me give you the numbers. Burn this into your memory for next week. Desert areas of Arizona and California could hit 110 degrees by May 10th through 12th. 110 degrees in May, that is flat-out history-level heat. West Texas and the Texas Panhandle are looking at triple digits as early as Tuesday, May 12th. Western Oklahoma lines up right alongside Texas with triple-digit readings possible by early next week. 90-degree readings are going to push north into Kansas and show up across parts of Florida, too. Wichita Falls, Amarillo, Lubbock, and Midland, the heat is arriving fast and early for all of you. Here's what makes this dangerous: your body has not acclimated to heat after a cold May. Folks, the heat catching people flat-footed in May hits harder than the same temps do in peak July. Stay hydrated way before you feel thirsty. Do not let your body fall behind. Get indoors during the afternoon hours, and please check on any elderly neighbors around you. They may not realize how dangerous an unexpected early season heat event like this can be. Phoenix, Tucson, Las Vegas, Palm Springs treat every afternoon this week exactly like peak July. Physiologically, that is exactly what your body is about to face, so plan your outdoor time accordingly. If you are in the central part of the country, that is your early warning. By May 18th through the 26th, warm Pacific air is going to spread further east into the Midwest. When that warm air collides with the remnants of the cool pattern, storm energy wakes right back up. Long-range guidance is pointing toward a severe weather environment becoming ripe across the Central Plains. The mid-Mississippi Valley and states like Illinois, Iowa, and Missouri are in the crosshairs for late May. Too far out for specific days, but the ingredients are building. This is real. Keep a close eye on May 18th through 26th if you are in that part of the country. This El Niño story is not just about the next few weeks. The bigger picture is wild. It is reshaping the entire rest of 2026 in ways the models are spelling out in remarkable detail. By the fall, September, and October, El Niño-driven moisture builds rapidly across the southern plains. That moisture surge spreads into the southeast and eventually pushes into the Ohio Valley and northeast. Heading into winter December and January of 2027, the Super El Niño scenario looks flat-out serious. We are talking extensive flooding rains across California, the desert southwest, and much of the southeast. Much of the Ohio Valley and the Northeast Corridor comes into the above-average rain category for winter. Atmospheric river events coming in one after another: mudslides, flooding rains, you name it. The guidance is that bullish, and models are rarely this unanimous this far out in advance. That is precisely why serious forecasters have been paying very close attention to this Pacific signal. One more thing for your radar: this one flies under the public's attention a lot. Pacific hurricane season kicks off in about 8 days, with the Atlantic season following on June 1st. El Niño's warmer Pacific waters mean early season development chances out there are running above average. Some guidance is even hinting at possible early tropical development in the Gulf around mid-June. That would be before El Niño's full wind shear effects kick in to suppress Atlantic activity. Gulf Coast residents, the early part of hurricane season is worth watching this year. Boston, Providence, Hartford, a cold and unsettled Saturday, highs stuck in the low 50s with showers. New York City, you're looking at a chilly Saturday in the mid-50s and a few afternoon showers. Philadelphia and Trenton expect a damp Saturday with highs around 56 and some patchy morning drizzle. Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, highs in the upper 50s Saturday with periods of light rain expected. Richmond and Virginia Beach, a rainy stretch this weekend, highs around 60 and drought relief finally arriving. Charlotte and Greensboro, showers Saturday, high of 62, and this rain is exactly what you need. Raleigh and the Piedmont, half an inch of rain Saturday, the first real relief in weeks. Myrtle Beach and Wilmington, scattered storms possible through Saturday afternoon before things quiet down. Columbia and Augusta, showers Saturday with highs near 68, and the drought deficit starts filling this week. Atlanta, scattered storms likely Saturday afternoon, highs near 72, and a wet but mild Mother's Day ahead. Savannah and Charleston, heavy rain possible Saturday as the system moves through your area. Jacksonville and Gainesville, severe storm risk lingers through Saturday morning, highs in the mid-70s. Tampa and Orlando, mostly dry this weekend, highs in the low 80s with some cloud cover. Miami, a nice Mother's Day weekend, mid-80s, mostly sunny with very low storm chances. New Orleans, a flooding concern through Saturday with up to 2 inches of rain possible. Baton Rouge and Lake Charles, marginal excessive rainfall risk Friday into Saturday, heads up out there. Mobile and Biloxi, heavy rain potential Saturday morning, 1 to 2 inches, and localized flooding possible. Jackson, Mississippi, still recovering from Wednesday's storms and facing another round of rain Saturday. Houston and Galveston, marginal flood risk through the weekend. Turn around, don't drown on any flooded road. Corpus Christi and Brownsville, elevated rain chances Saturday with a 1/4 to 1/2 inch expected. Memphis, sitting right in the storm corridor Saturday with severe storm potential through the afternoon. Nashville and Clarksville, thunderstorm chances Saturday afternoon, highs in the upper 60s. Stay alert. Louisville and Lexington, a wet Saturday with highs around 62 and scattered storms possible through the day. Indianapolis, showers and rumbles of thunder Saturday, highs in the low 60s, not a severe weather event. St. Louis, cool and unsettled Saturday, highs low 60s, periods of rain through the day. Kansas City, temperatures in the low 60s Saturday, scattered showers with warmer air building by midweek. Chicago, mild and damp this weekend, highs around 62, nothing severe, but keep that umbrella close. Milwaukee and Green Bay, upper 50s Saturday with light rain and a real frost threat overnight. Minneapolis and St. Paul, upper 40s Saturday, frost and freeze risk Friday and Sunday nights. Des Moines and Omaha, cool and breezy Saturday in the low 50s, scattered showers all afternoon. Cleveland and Pittsburgh, wet Saturday, highs low 60s, 1/2 inch of rain possible through Monday. Columbus and Cincinnati, showers Saturday with highs near 63, and good soaking rain continues into next week. Detroit, right on the borderline for frost Sunday morning, highs near 58 Saturday with periods of rain. Fargo and Bismarck, dangerously close to freezing Saturday night. Protect any plants you have in the ground. Sioux Falls and Rapid City, frost risk Saturday night, highs only in the low 50s this weekend. Denver, recovering from that historic May snowstorm, highs rebounding to the upper 50s this weekend. Albuquerque, warming fast with highs near 80 this weekend and triple-digit heat building by Tuesday. Phoenix, genuinely heading toward 100 by Monday. Respect this early season heat like it is July. Tucson, highs near 95 Saturday, climbing toward 100 by Tuesday. Hydrate early and limit afternoon activity. Las Vegas, near 95 Saturday, heading toward 105 by Tuesday, 30 to 40 above normal. Los Angeles, mild low 70s this weekend, but dangerous inland heat builds toward triple digits next week. Seattle and Portland, a cool and quiet weekend in the mid-50s, mostly dry heading into Mother's Day. San Francisco staying mild in the upper 60s with morning fog clearing by midday Saturday. Sacramento and Fresno, temperatures climbing fast, low 90s Saturday and heading toward 100 by next week. Now for the part that deserves the most credit in this forecast, the good news. The Carolinas and Virginia have been locked in a punishing drought for well over a month now. The next 10 days are the best setup yet to seriously put a dent in that drought. 4 separate rainfall events could hit the East Coast in a single week, no joke. If even half of that fully verifies, the drought picture for the Carolinas changes dramatically. Charlotte has been thirsty for weeks. This parade of rain systems is way too long coming. Raleigh, Greensboro, and the Piedmont have needed this kind of extended wet stretch for a long time. Richmond and Virginia Beach, good soaking rains are heading your way up the coast. The European and GFS models both agree on that active rain pattern for the east. When both major models agree at this forecast range, that carries real weight and adds genuine confidence. Out west, Mother's Day itself looks pretty warm and dry, a nice day for outdoor celebrations. Southern Plains are looking at some wet weather through the weekend, but nothing too dramatic for Sunday. The Northern Plains largely look dry for Mother's Day, which is a nice break from the cold pattern. Great Lakes and Northeast plan around some pesky showers and keep a radar handy. Southeast, some showers and storms are possible on Mother's Day, so have a backup plan ready. Overall, many areas will find good windows for outdoor celebrations if you time your plans right. Step back and look at the big picture here. It is remarkable when laid out. A record May cold outbreak in the east 15 degrees below normal is live. A record May snowstorm just buried Denver and the Rockies under several feet of snow. 110-degree heat is developing in the desert southwest at the exact same time. And a once-in-a-generation El Niño signal pointing back to 1877 is quietly building offshore. All 4 of those things are happening simultaneously in May of 2026. That is not normal, folks. That is the atmosphere following physical laws and building up contrasts that have to release somewhere. The energy from those contrasts is exactly what we will all be navigating together through this month. This is not random chaos or bad luck. Every piece of this has a reason behind it. And understanding that reason is what gives you the ability to prepare before it catches you off guard. At the end of the day, this forecast comes down to what you actually do with it. First, if you are in the frost zone, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, cover your plants tonight. Do not wait until tomorrow morning when the damage is already done and the thermometer has already dropped. Second Gulf Coast and Southeast Coast have your flash flood alerts set and active. Never drive on a flooded road, washed out pavement hides beneath and you cannot see. Third, if you're in the desert Southwest next week, respect the early season heat like it is July. Charge your phone and your backup battery because power outages follow big heat events out west. Fourth, if you are in the drought-affected Carolinas and Virginia, the rain is coming. Hang in there. This is the best setup for meaningful drought relief the region has seen in over a month. Fifth, for everybody everywhere, keep your weather alerts on this weekend no matter where you live. This pattern has too many moving pieces to go dark on the forecast for even a day. Folks who come through weekends like this are always the ones who knew what was coming. The ones who get caught figured it could not be as bad as the forecast was saying. And every single time without fail, the storm does not care what anybody figured. Do yourself a solid, share this with somebody you know in one of these impact zones. Drop your city in the comments and tell me what it looks like outside your window today. And if you want specific forecasts for your city or region, leave that in the comments too. I will come back with individual breakdowns because every area in this pattern has its own specific story. We are going to be tracking every development as this pattern unfolds through the rest of the month. The short-term risks this weekend, the record heat surge out west next week, the drought-busting rains, and the enormous El Niño story building all the way through the rest of 2026. Make sure notifications are turned on so you do not miss a single update as this pattern develops. Stay safe out there, stay heads up, and please take care of the people around you this weekend. After 54 severe reports in one day, Denver under May snow, and an 1877 El Niño. Nobody walks away without knowing exactly what is coming and what to do about it. God bless, stay weather aware, and we will see you in the next update.